the number of obese people exceeds the number of people who are starving. Obesity is a huge problem. It's leading to a lot of diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, heart diseases, some forms of cancers, infertility, depression, and many more. Despite the increasing amount of attention paid to obesity in media, recognizing and talking about it is difficult. Obesity can be a sensitive subject to discuss, given how stigmatized overweight people feel and make others feel. While no one would take offense if their doctor had said he or she had blood pressure or heart disease, they might feel very offended if the doctor said he or she was obese, since the word can sound like a moral as well as a medical judgment. According to anecdotal evidence, even people with severe obesity tend to think of the word as applying only to people much heavier than they are. BMI 29.9 mm is a hot from oven initiative, a concept and idea to ensure that all the verticals of medicine which are impacted due to obesity come together to create a unique and near perfect patient pathway to ensure a holistic approach in care and treatment of an obese patient. BMI 29.9 mm is also aimed at bringing clarity in the minds of people about this concerning topic of obesity, its side effects, its associated medical conditions, and the best long-term solution to this medical problem. I am Dr. Manish Motwani, a bariatric surgeon, that's a weight loss surgeon, with Hinduja Healthcare Khar and SL Raheja Hospital Mahim. And I'm also the founder and chief bariatric surgeon at Astha Bariatrics, which is a center of excellence in bariatric surgery. I'll be the host for this unique talk show, BMI 29.9 mm. Friends, we are discussing about a multifactorial disease causing severe effects in men as well as women, though women outnumber men in this disease. Overweight women can have a higher incidence of menstrual dysfunction and anovulation. Overweight and obese are at a higher risk of reproductive health. The risk of infertility, conception rates, miscarriage rates, and pregnancy complications are increased in obese women. To discuss this and much more, we have with us one of the senior most infertility specialists from Mumbai, a person who has made a name for herself, a doctor who has shown to the world when care and expertise join hands, miracles can happen. She is none other than Dr. Sudha Tandon, a gynecologist and infertility specialist with more than 3 decades of experience as an IVF specialist from Dr. Sudha Tandon IVF Gynecology and Endoscopy Center. She started when there were not many who were showing a ray of hope to those who wish to have a complete family. With 2 facilities in Chembur and Navi Mumbai, she has been responsible to create happy smiles in more than 1,000 couples by gifting them a baby. She has chaired and been a faculty and also convener for various workshops, seminars and conferences at Mumbai and state level. She has been involved in various decision-taking responsibility positions in FOGSI, that is Federation of Obstetric and Gynecological Society of India, in MOGS, that is Mumbai Obstetric and Gynecological Society, and also IAGE, that is Indian Association of Gynecological Endoscopists. She is ably supported by her 2 daughters, Dr. Aditi Tandon and Dr. Amrita Tandon, who have worked with her hand in hand, shoulder to shoulder in creating happy families. With this short introduction, I have the pleasure of presenting in front of you a delightful and pleasant personality, a person who's a wonderful person at heart, a compassionate human being with a desire to serve mankind, Dr. Sudha Tandon. Madam.
Namaste. Hello, Dr. Manish Motwani, and hello to everyone who's watching this show. At the outset, I must congratulate Dr. Manish Motwani and everybody from Astha Bariatrics to have really done a wonderful initiative of this program, of this talk show, BMI 29.9 mm, which highlights obesity and puts it in the right perspective. I think, as you have rightly said, especially since I am a infertility specialist, this is your first program starting from women and infertility. I think it is just wonderful. Congratulations and best wishes to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sudha Tandon. It's an absolute pleasure to host you on this talk show, BMI 29.9 mm. And friends, as Dr. Tandon has already said this is the first show and there are many more to come. So, madam, with your consent, may we start with the questions?
Sure, please go ahead. I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you so much. Dr. Sudha Tandon, why is it hard for an obese woman to get pregnant?
Yeah, so let us understand about little bit about pregnancy. Most women and most couples, I would say, would want to get pregnant naturally. They do not want to go to a doctor. They don't want any treatment. But with obesity, the biggest problem could be the physical issues which occur when they try to have intercourse. And especially if both the couples are really obese, then that really becomes a big issue. So physical problems because of obesity and having intercourse plays a very important role. After this, you see, it is important that the woman has proper ovulation. Now, what does the word ovulation mean? And for proper ovulation, which occurs, the egg in the ovary, many follicles start growing from either of the ovaries, which and then they'll start growing, and then one of the egg will mature and will rupture. So this phenomenon, which is called as ovulation, which occurs generally on the 13th or the 14th day, making what is the fertile period. Now this gets affected because of obesity, because there's hormonal imbalance. So majority or quite a few of them who are obese or are morbidly obese have anovulation. That means they do not have the release of the egg which happens during the fertile period. And also it gives rise to PCOS because they have other metabolic problems like insulin resistance or increase in the male hormones, which is associated with PCOS and obesity. So basically they have menstrual irregularities, anovulation, PCOS, physical problems associated because of which they can't have intercourse. So these are the few important points which make an obese woman, it's really difficult for her to get pregnant.
Madam, you told it in such a simple manner. These are the type of explanation which will really matter a lot to the patients, because when you're speaking today, madam, let me tell you, Dr. Sudha Tandon, this interview is going to be heard by your peers, your co-doctors, your juniors, and so many common men who are struggling with infertility. And I really feel this will go a long way in their understanding the basic facts of obesity and infertility.
Yes.
Now, what are the other risks associated with obesity in women?
Yeah, so we have talked of infertility, but you see, there are other problems which are associated with obesity. Now, if this obese lady would get pregnant, or even without trying for a pregnancy, the risk of hypertension, risk of diabetes mellitus, and the risk of hypothyroidism, which are the medical problems, are definitely much more as compared to a lady or a person who has normal weight. So a 30-year-old woman who doesn't, if her weight is more, of she's morbidly obese, has more chances of hypertension vis-a-vis a 30-year-old woman who has normal weight. So this, otherwise obesity, hypertension, diabetes is more associated with the elderly. But here, because she is overweight, she has more risk of all these issues of hypertension and diabetes. And mind you, they are issues which are not, which one is not really happy to have it at any age, and definitely not at that age of 30. And if we look at these women who are obese, who are overweight in the postmenopausal age group, and there you see 30% of the women now, they live their lives after the postmenopause. You see, so they are very active, and the risk of cancers, especially endometrial cancer, that means the cancer of the uterus, cancer of the lining of the uterus, the main body of the uterus, is definitely more in these women who are obese. They have a triad, they have hypertension, diabetes, and endometrial carcinoma. So we are seeing a very increased risk of these women who come with endometrial cancer. They come with postmenopausal bleeding. And there's a very important symptom that they must not neglect, and they must refer to a gynecologist. They must go to a gynecologist. Also, if you see from the anesthesia point of view, there is a very high risk of all anesthesia problems which can occur in these obese women. So if you see in the entire spectrum, it doesn't benefit to be overweight or obese, for these women, medically speaking, and even psychologically speaking, they're not happy with their weight. They don't feel they're looking good. So there are various factors associated with the obesity or who are markedly obese.
Very rightly said, madam. Yes, medical problems. And one of the most important facts that you have said is postmenopausal endometrial cancers. So this is a very important point. Yes, that obesity should always be curbed. The first most important thing should be prevention. And if we find that prevention is, we've gone beyond the stage of prevention, then we have to be proactive in ensuring that we get rid of obesity, because it can cause physical problems, it can cause psychological problems, it can cause medical problems, and most importantly, what I feel, obesity hurts your confidence, plays on your personality, decreases your productivity, and most of the time people feel that this is not a life worth living. Is this why I am born? People walk 5 steps and become breathless. This is not a quality of life. People snore at night and can't sleep well at night. This is not the quality of life that people wanted. So yes, with regards to the medical conditions, physical problems and psychological problems and productivity issues too, it is always better to control obesity, or if it goes beyond a particular stage, to try to treat and cure obesity. Then yes, the life is better, the quantum of life and quality of life also improves. Very rightly said, madam. Thank you so much. But does obesity also affect males, that is in terms of male infertility?
Oh yes, there's a huge impact of obesity on male infertility. Apart from what I've said, like obesity, diabetes, which is common both for women and for males. So I'm not going to repeat it, but you see the male gamete is the sperms, which are there in millions. The normal sperm count in the semen is about 15 million per ml, and it should be 40% should be actively motile. Now, what is seen in these obese men is that the sperm count is reduced, the motility is reduced, the abnormal sperms may also be on the higher level. So because of the obesity which affects the sperm factors, they can have the reduction in or there's an increase in the male factor of infertility. You see, that can be a problem with them. And also their ability to perform intercourse in the form of having erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation, which can affect the bonding between the couple. Their ability to have intercourse also gets affected. So the erectile dysfunction and the premature ejaculation issues are really very much in the patients in the obese men. We need a semen sample to either even do a semen analysis. They could have an erectile dysfunction and they maybe not be able to give a semen sample for semen analysis. They may be not be able to give a semen sample for doing procedures like IUI, which we do for them to conceive, or for IVF, or for ICSI. So these are the problems that we face, on a day-to-day basis with the obese men.
Friends, Dr. Sudha Tandon has been an infertility specialist for more than 3 decades. She's treated thousands and thousands of people. And what she speaks right now is pure experience. And her experience says that yes, obesity is a big roadblock, not only in females, but also in males in the course of infertility. Though I have known her to be treating infertile patients in a brilliant manner, whether it is initially only through normal cycles, through medications, or through intrauterine insemination, or through IVF. But here is a person and here is a doctor who's one of the most standard procedures, who's following one of the most standard procedures, protocols to ensure that all her patients get the best of care, best of health, and they go home happy with the baby. So that's phenomenal, madam. Whatever messages you're passing on is going to go deep into the minds of people, and they'll help them take a good decision for their future too. Madam, what should be the patient pathway for an obese patient who's 35 BMI, who's say around 30 kgs overweight, and not able to conceive normally, and also has irregular periods? So I would again repeat the question: what would be the patient pathway for an obese patient more than 35 BMI? So friends, I would just like to tell you that any patient who's less than 25 BMI is supposed to be normal weight, 25 to 30 is overweight, 30 to 35 BMI is grade 1 obesity, 35 to 40 BMI is grade 2 obesity, and more than 40 is grade 3 obesity or morbid obesity. They have their rules, guidelines, protocols which infertility specialists follow while treating the patients. There's a triad system. What do they do first? What do they do second? That is the reason a question to one of the most senior most players or doctors in the field: what should be the pathway for an obese patient who's 35 BMI, that means grade 2 obesity, with around 30 kgs overweight and is not able to conceive normally and also has irregular periods?
Yeah, so I think this is a very important and a pertinent question that you have raised, because in practice, we really see such patients, who come to us who are morbidly obese, and they do try to lose weight naturally, and uh, and let's be very honest, nobody wants to go for a surgery at the first instance. So definitely they will try to go to a nutritionist. We'll also advise them, to lose weight if they have not attempted. So first and foremost is, speaking to the couple and finding out as to, or educating them as to, see what happens with obesity. You see, the natural conception is 35% lower in a morbidly obese woman. So that is a huge number. So if they are little on the younger side, there's no pressure. And if they are really motivated to lose weight by lifestyle changes, that is the first approach that all of us would like to follow. Who wants to go undergo surgery? That is very important, right? But so that is the first thing, is trying to impress on them that after losing weight, they may even conceive naturally. They may not need a fertility specialist like us. So lifestyle changes, and a good amount of time, if they've spent in lifestyle changes, is very important. But at the same time, if they have not achieved it, then that is where the bariatric surgery comes into picture. It really helps them reduce from morbidly obese. They will even come to a near normal weight. And you see, in an obese woman, if I were to give a treatment for IUI or IVF, any assisted reproductive techniques, ICSI, the dose that we require of gonadotropins is so high, which is again a big problem with them. The response is not optimal. Like if I use 225 units, let's say, in a normal weight patient, we would get about, for an IVF, we could get 8 or 10 follicles, 8 or 10 eggs. But in a morbidly obese patients, we may require 450 units or 600 units. So that in itself could be risky to the patient. So increase in the hormonal dose, suboptimal response, and even their eggs are not of good quality because of obesity. So from all angles, whether it is a natural conception or it is by conception by assisted reproductive techniques, losing weight is paramount, is very important from all angles. So first is, of course, as we all know, and as all we advise, is lifestyle modifications and diet changes, exercises. I'm not going to really delve into that, but definitely if that has not worked, I personally feel that bariatric surgery plays a huge role in these couples, whether it is for the female or for the male, because that will bring down their weight, that will increase their confidence, that will give me more confidence in treating them, knowing that, well, now the response is going to be like a near normal patient. You see, near normal woman of a normal weight. So that risk which is involved of not getting good follicles and not getting good fertilization of the eggs and not getting good embryos and having all other issues, in my head, I'm really more comfortable treating them, you see. And even with IVF, if they were to treat, apart from all these factors, even the success of pregnancy is lesser by 20% in morbidly obese. So from all angles, I think it would be worthwhile that, she loses weight and comes for treatment.
Friends, we've also heard umpteen number of times, whenever even a mild overweight patient or a mild obese or morbidly obese patient goes to an infertility specialist, the first thing that comes out from the mouth is lose weight. Lose weight and your chances of fertility, chances of pregnancy increases. One more valid point which doctor just said are, if an obese patient becomes pregnant, then there are again complications like whether there will be a sudden termination of pregnancy, whether there can be some miscarriages, whether there can be pregnancy related complications. So yes, I absolutely am in agreement to what Dr. Sudha Tandon has just said, that yes, lose weight and then proceed ahead. The chance of fertility increases, chance of pregnancy related complications decreases, and overall it will be a fantastic experience of childbirth for the couples, for the mother. So, Dr. Sudha Tandon, we usually we have been in the field of bariatric surgery for almost 2 decades now, and as you know, we are a center of excellence in bariatric surgery, present almost all across Mumbai. We've had hundreds of patients who were infertile and obese, in fact, referred by good friends and gynecologists like you and many others, where we understand that it's a multidisciplinary approach. It cannot be that I can say that only bariatric surgery is the one which is helpful. No, it is a joint care between a surgeon, infertility specialist, dietitian, and all these people combined ensure that a multidisciplinary approach is taken up so that the patient gets the best care, because bringing that smile in a couple which doesn't have a family is so important for them. But there is another point, madam. As soon as the pregnancy, as soon as the surgery is over, what we have seen in our experience is usually when the first 10, 15, 20 kgs go down in the first 2 months or 3 months, patients get a lot of confidence. Many hormonal factors become better, and we have had umpteen number of patients who come in the second and third month with missed periods. We've also gone to the extent of getting the pregnancy terminated at that stage, because we feel that when the mother herself is losing weight, she cannot have that much amount of nutrients to provide energy to another soul. So we usually advise to avoid pregnancy for at least 8 to 10 or even 12 months post bariatric surgery. Now, suppose you have a patient who was morbidly obese and you thought that losing weight was important, not just to increase the chances of fertility, but also to prevent pregnancy related complications. And now bariatric surgery is done, the patient has lost weight. How would you treat this patient?
Yeah, so I think what you have very rightly said is these patients after bariatric surgery, because they lose even a 10 kilogram weight, there's an increase in fertility and they would get pregnant. So, from the time the bariatric surgery is done, they should be advised contraception, that they should not get pregnant for 1 year, because as you very rightly said, their nutrients, they may not be able to eat properly, and they are in the phase of losing weight. So that point of contraception is a very valid and important point that you have mentioned. I think that should be stressed upon and should be really taken seriously by the couple. Now, when she has come to me after a year and she's got pregnant, she is like almost like any other normal patient, and any other normal woman who's pregnant, who's got a normal BMI, but at the same time, because she's undergone, not because she's undergone bariatric surgery, but also that it's important to focus that she takes her folic acid properly to reduce any incidence of neural tube defects. She has her multivitamins, her vitamin D levels should be normal, and also impress on her and on the family that her diet now plays a very important role. Because in our Indian scenario, they feel that when the girl is pregnant, when the lady is pregnant, she has to be fed for two. So they'll really start pampering her, making her eat all sorts of sweets and mithais, and see to it that she really is well fed. But it's not that the calorie requirement increases so much during pregnancy that she again gets back her weight. So looking into the macronutrients and the micronutrients is very important. And we at our center, we take care that we really counsel them well, that the average weight gain which should be there during pregnancy for a normal weight is also the same for this lady who's undergone bariatric surgery. So her diet plays a very important role. It should really be very low in fat. It should not be fat free. Little amount of fat is very much required, but it should be good quality proteins. It should be high. The carbohydrate should be just about moderate and not very, very much. So important point is that her nutrition should be really looked into. Her weight gain should be monitored. And even let's say a slightest increase in the weight gain, which is more than normal, should be really monitored. Otherwise, she'll again have the same risk of hypertension and diabetes, and then she may have difficulty in losing weight. So all these factors will go a long way in her having a successful pregnancy and successful outcome of the pregnancy, and especially of the bariatric surgery that you have done on her. So that is extremely important.
Madam, there are a lot of patients who come to us who are patients who are unmarried girls who are around 100 kgs or 110 kgs and 120 kgs. And the parents of those patients come and tell us that if we get them operated before marriage, tomorrow it might affect the pregnancy, it might affect their life, they might not get a good person for marriage. Friends, I would just like to tell you one thing very, very openly and very clearly. Bariatric surgery is a life-changing surgery. Bariatric surgery is a life-transforming surgery. Bariatric surgery गाय है, वो किसी को तकलीफ नहीं पहुंचाती. And whatever will happen for good. Suppose there is a daughter of yours who's say 100 kgs or 110 kgs. Will she ever, and I'm saying openly on this medium, will she get the boy of her choice? She might have to probably get married to a guy also who is little overweight. Now, when one partner is obese, the chances of infertility increases. When both partners are obese, the chances of infertility become multifold. Chances of pregnancy-related complications become multifold. Chances of they getting diabetes becomes more. Chances of the offspring getting diabetes becomes more. Why should we go into these complications? Instead, if the girl gets operated or treated and loses weight before marriage, she will get probably a boy of her choice. That satisfaction inside her will always be there, that she has got the perfect match for herself. And when the boy and girl are probably normal weight, then Dr. Sudha Tandon has just said they will be treated just like normal people. And some gynec advice and some advice by the infertility specialist, and they might also conceive normally. Am I right, Dr. Sudha Tandon?
Absolutely.
So
very
what?
Sense.
And these words coming from a person as senior as Dr. Sudha Tandon brings more credibility to this field of bariatric surgery, that yes, when these fields come together, this is only for the benefit of the patient. Madam, it was a great experience with you, but finally, what is your experience of bariatric surgery in obese females? And a final word from your end to compile everything together.
So my experiences with bariatric surgery has been really wonderful. They are, the women who have undergone bariatric surgery and they lose weight, they definitely have a more positive approach to life, a positive outlook in life. Their self-image improves, their self-esteem improves, they're more confident, they're more outgoing. And now they think of, things which they have not thought of before, like wearing good clothes, or dating someone, as you said. So all that really plays a very important role in their life. So bariatric surgery will give the kickstart, as I said. And after that, even the loss of about 30 to 50 kgs, which happens in the beginning, first 6 to 10 months, it is so important, and also very important, that they maintain this weight. And and unless they maintain the weight, whatever advantages they've had of bariatric surgery otherwise will be lost. So all the psychological effects, the metabolic effects, the physical problems of hypertension, diabetes they would not need to go to a doctor like you and me. That's very important, you see. So because all their parameters would be normal. I think that is a big, positive thing about bariatric surgery. I've been really very happy to do this program, which is called as BMI 29.9 mm, a very, very valid program, which has been initiated by the Asta Bariatrics and by Dr. Manish Motwani and his team. It's really wonderful job that they're doing, and putting bariatric surgery in the right perspective. It's not just about the surgery, it's about the whole lifestyle, the whole holistic approach that their team is, they are so actively involved. So best of luck to you, Dr. Manish, and to all your team, and for all your future programs.
Thank you so much, madam. It means a lot coming from a person like you. Thank you so much. And so, friends, just to tell you, Astha Healthcare is a center of excellence in bariatric surgery. We are also accredited by the Indian Excellence Federation of Metabolic and Bariatric Surgeons. We are just amongst the 2 hospitals in Mumbai and 11 in the country who have got this dual recognition. At our center, we ensure that every patient is counseled to ensure that the weight loss happens in the best possible manner without nutritional deficiencies, and the weight loss remains for a very prolonged period of time. You all have habits for 20 years, 30 years and 40 years, and we are not like gurus over here that we say something and you start following it. So what is required is counseling, and we've got an extremely strong team of counselors and nutritionists who ensure that patients follow the best lifestyle. It is not about that we tell you that don't eat this and don't eat that. Bariatrics is not about that. Bariatrics is not about restrictions. It is about improvement. To tell you that yes, if you like a particular thing, please eat it, but we will tell you the best method to cook it and the best way to eat it. And that helps you to lose weight, maintain weight and sustain weight. So friends, take charge of your health. Sometimes addressing fertility challenges starts with getting to a healthy weight. Losing weight is a simple concept, but in practice, it's not always easy. If changing your diet and exercising have not worked, you may want to talk to your doctor about bariatric surgery. It may be worth considering if you're more than 25 kgs or above your ideal weight, you have weight-related health issues like high blood pressure, diabetes, infertility, etc. And you have tried weight loss programs, but it has not worked. Think about it. If obesity is the underlying cause of your fertility challenges, it's best to address that before starting or continuing other treatments. Talk to your doctor about how your body weight may be affecting your fertility. Bariatric surgery is a safe option for all age groups, including young adults. At Astha Healthcare, we've been performing bariatric surgery since almost 2 decades with a phenomenal success rate. Bariatric surgery has been responsible in saving lives of many and also played a very important role in transforming life of patients who were really troubled due to problems of obesity. Friends, BMI 29.9 mm talk show will be coming up with many more episodes of interviews with specialists who have a significant role to play in a fight against obesity. We are also aware that a multidisciplinary approach is the best way out to give the patient complete relief from obesity and obesity-related comorbidities. I would like to thank Dr. Sudha Tandon for her presence and the enlightening talk which she has done here. And friends, await our next episode on BMI 29.9 mm. Thank you.